This morning, you may have looked at your own face several times without thinking about it. In the bathroom mirror, on your phone's front camera, in the polished doors of an elevator. But for most of human history, your ancestors had no clear idea what their own faces actually looked like. They knew their hands. They knew the scar on a leg. They knew how other people reacted when they smiled or became angry. But their complete face, the image everyone else saw, was almost a secret. So when did humans begin to see themselves? And what changes when an animal can finally study its own face? The answer does not begin with glass. It begins with water. A still pool can return an image, but it is a terrible mirror. A light wind breaks the face apart. An insect touches the surface and the reflection disappears. Lean too close and your own movement destroys the picture. In weak light, there is almost nothing to see. Flowing water is even worse. Nature gave early humans a glimpse of themselves, but not control over that glimpse. Then a black stone changed everything. At the Neolithic settlement of Çatalhöyük in Anatolia, archaeologists found pieces of polished obsidian dating to roughly the 6th millennium BCE. Obsidian is volcanic glass. When shaped into a flat surface and polished for a long time, its dark surface can reflect a face. Not sharply, not brightly, not perfectly, but for the first time, the image did not vanish because the water moved. There was a cost, however. Turning a rough piece of stone into a mirror required time, grinding, polishing, testing the surface, then polishing again. This object did not hunt an animal, it did not cut meat, it did not start a fire. Yet someone invested hours of work in it. That suggests the earliest mirrors were probably not ordinary objects lying in every home. They may have been rare. They may have belonged to people of status. They may have been used during rituals while applying ochre, arranging hair, or preparing the body for an important event. After polished stone came metal. In ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and other early societies, copper and later bronze could be cast into circular discs and polished until they reflected light. These mirrors often appeared beside combs, tweezers, razors, and cosmetic containers. Some were buried with the dead, some carried divine symbols, some were so expensive that owning the mirror was itself a message about status. But do not imagine an ancient person seeing the same clear image you see every morning. Metal tarnished, a slightly curved surface could stretch the nose, bend the cheeks, or shift the eyes. The mirror had to be polished repeatedly. Even when new, the image was darker and less stable than a modern reflection. Our ancestors did not merely see themselves less often. When they did, the face they saw could change from one mirror to another. And this is where the story becomes strange. Before mirrors, identity was built mainly from the outside. You knew who you were through your name, your family, your role, your skills, your injuries, your history, and the way your community treated you. Your face belonged more to other people than it belonged to you. They could see it at any time. You could not. A mirror pulled part of that identity back. You could inspect your own hair, check paint on your skin, notice a wound, watch yourself age, study an expression before stepping into a public space. Mirrors did not create self-awareness. Humans understood themselves long before polished stone. What mirrors created was a new kind of feedback. Visual, private, repeatable feedback. You no longer had to ask someone else what you looked like. And once appearance could be checked, appearance could be designed. Hair could be arranged more precisely. Eyeliner could be made more symmetrical. Jewelry could be placed exactly where it was meant to sit. Signs of rank, gender, group identity, or ritual status could be tested before other people saw them. A mirror was therefore not simply a beauty tool, it was a device for editing social signals. Glass eventually entered the story, but transparent glass alone was not enough. To create a bright reflection, craftspeople had to combine a flat glass surface with a reflective metal layer behind it. Over time, mirrors became clearer, larger, and eventually cheaper. When mirrors became ordinary household objects, a quiet change took place. Humans began living with their own faces, not seeing them only during a ritual, not catching a brief image in dark metal, seeing them every day, several times a day. Then came photography, then video, then the front-facing camera where you can watch your own face while speaking to someone else. Your ancestors once needed to find still water to see themselves. You only need to touch a screen, but the cost may have moved in the opposite direction. When our own image becomes too easy to access, we begin adjusting it constantly, comparing it constantly, judging it constantly. A tool that once helped people control how they appeared before a community can now place that community inside their heads. So the next time you look in a mirror, remember what you are actually using. You are not simply looking at a face, you are using a technology that changed identity from something other people described to you into something you could observe, edit, and sometimes obsess over. The mirror did not create the human being, but it helped create the human being who is always aware of being seen.